Well, good morning, families of God, and a very special welcome to any young people or children that are watching today's children's message. This is the children's message for Sunday, June 20th. And for those that I haven't met, my name is Pastor Ann. I serve as the pastor of Christ Lutheran Church in Fredericksburg, Virginia, along with my ministry partner, Pastor Lou. So we're so glad that you're tuning in for today's children's message. We also hope that you will watch the big church, the full worship service online with your families. Maybe you're actually registered to come and participate in person in the sanctuary at that worship service. So, online or at home, we do hope that you'll also view the full worship service. Well, today for our children's message, I brought along with me a pinwheel. And if you've been out to any of the stores, a grocery store, or a craft store, or hobby store, there are lots of pinwheels around. And a lot of them are in the festive colors, in red, white, and blue as we're gearing up for our July 4th celebration. But the one I have with me today is actually it's shaped like a flower, and it's actually have three of these in my office in different colors. They're pinwheels that I got for walking in a walk to help find an end to Alzheimer's. And I love this one because it is orange. It's a nice, cheerful, bright color, and because it's shaped like a flower. And you know how pinwheels work. When the wind blows outside, they start to move, and they can move kind of fast or really slow depending on the breeze. And so pinwheels make me think about the wind and how the wind's movement causes us to move. And so, I can control the pinwheel. I can use my finger and I can tap it and it will start to move, and I can even stop it. I can make it go really, really fast, and I can keep it going, and I could stop it again. If I wanted it to go in the other direction, I could do that too, right? But you know something? I can't control the wind. I can't make the wind start. I can't determine how fast the wind is blowing, if it's a soft, gentle breeze, or if it's a really strong, windy gust. I can't control the wind. I can't make it stop. But I wonder sometimes what it would be like to be able to start the wind and then to stop it. I wonder what it would be like to have that kind of control. Or I wonder what it would be like to be able to make it rain, to say a prayer for rain, or to just to say, let it rain, and then the rain would start. Or I wonder what it would be like when a storm pops up, to be able to tell the storm to stop. Especially if I'm supposed to be outside at a fun picnic or sport event and it starts to storm, I'd like to be able to say, stop. Or how about if you're at the pool and the thunder starts and you know the pool is going to close down? Wouldn't it be something if you could just tell the storm to go away and to stop, to have that control, and then the storm would stop? That would be really, really something. Well, in our Bible story today, there is a storm. You see, Jesus' friends, his disciples, and Jesus are in a fishing boat, and they are out at sea in the fishing boat. And guess what Jesus is doing? Jesus is actually taking a nap in the boat. He is sound asleep. And the disciples are awake. And as the disciples are moving around in the boat, suddenly they hear the sounds of a storm, and they see a storm, a great big terrifying storm starting. They're in the boat, and their boat was moving just gently, but then with the storm, it starts to rock side to side, and it's getting really rough and terrifying on the sea, and the rain is pouring down, and there's thunder and lightning, and the waves are getting bigger and bigger and beating against their boat, and the disciples are terrified. They are afraid that their little fishing boat is going to turn over, and they will die in the sea. They're scared because of the great big storm. And then they remember that they're not alone, right? That Jesus is in the boat too. And so they go and they wake Jesus up. They're kind of upset that Jesus is still asleep. They wake Jesus up and they say, help us, help us. Look at this storm. And what do you think Jesus does? Jesus wakes up And he goes and listen to what Jesus says. Jesus says to the wind and to the waves and to the storm, "Peace, be still. Peace, be still." The boat that was rocking quickly and scarily side to side is calm and still. The waves that were rolling and beating against the boat become soft and gentle and calm. The rain that was pouring down, that was threatening to take over the boat and flood the boat, it stops. The Bible tells us that after Jesus commands the wind and the waves to be still, everything becomes completely calm. Jesus has the power, has the authority to command the winds and the waves to stop. Jesus is in control of the wind and the waves and everything else because Jesus is God. You know, you've probably been in a storm before. Maybe you've never been in a fishing boat when a storm popped up, but I'm sure you've been inside your house or outside playing when your parents called you in because a storm was coming. We tend to get some storms in the afternoon and in the evenings this time of year. But apart from a weather storm, you probably know what it's like to go through other things that you just can't control. You know, there are lots of things in life that we're not in control of. We can't control the weather. We can't control who likes us or who doesn't. We can't control how other people feel or what other people say. If you're thinking already about next year and what school will be like, you can't control what class you're part of or what teacher you're assigned to. And I know you all learned a lot last year about how you're really not in control because your school schedules and activities just kept changing. We can't even control our health or the health of our family or of our pets, although we can do some things that are important that take care of our bodies that God has given to us. We can't control what happened in the past, can we? There are a lot of things that we are not in control of. Just like those disciples who couldn't control the storm, we know what it's like not to be in control. And not being in control, not having the power to change things the way we want them to be, that can be kind of scary, can it? It's scary for grown-ups, it's scary for big kids, it's scary for little kids, for all of us. But do you know something? When we can't control things, we should remember who is in control. And who is in control? Jesus. Jesus is in control. Remember how he controlled the wind and the wave and the storm, and he was able to tell it to stop, and it stopped, and everything was completely calm. So we can remember that story that teaches us that Jesus is in control. And we can also remember when we get afraid that Jesus is with us. Just like when the disciples were afraid of the storm, they remembered that Jesus was in the boat with them. So we can remember that Jesus is with us. He's in our hearts. He's also in our homes. He's in our school. He's everywhere because he's promised to be with us always. And just like the disciples who, when they woke Jesus up and asked for his help, Jesus came to their rescue, we can trust that Jesus is our helper too. And with Jesus with us, we can get through the storms of life, and we can trust him even and especially when we are not in control. Will you pray with me? Let's fold our hands and we'll close our eyes and get nice and quiet and still, and we'll pray together. Dear God, help us to trust in Jesus when we are not in control. Help us to call on Him for help when we are afraid, because Jesus is with us always. Amen. Well, boys and girls, I hear the office phone ringing, so I think I'm going to pick that phone call up. But I want to wish you a very happy week and blessings upon the rest of your Sunday with your family together. God's peace be with you, and remember, Jesus is with you, and He is your helper. Take care.